Welcome back to another game of Vampire Survivors, and today we will have a record attempt at the gold record with the new update, and boy oh boy, a lot has changed and a lot doesn't work anymore. So if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, don't worry, I'll get into that any second. I'm pretty much, I was trying out a lot and I died a lot, and I figured I can't continue like this. But first of all, the comment of this video is from Underos. I hope I said that right because it's blurry for me. You should try the missing no character and go in with whatever stats you get. Well, thank you a lot for the recommendation. And the thing is, I wouldn't mind too much, but I do not like editing game files in general. This has nothing to do with this game in particular. So obviously, if you want to do actual record attempts and you want to, be taken seriously, if you then altered your files and you might have forgotten something to change back, or when you copied something failed or corrupted files, whatever it is, you never know what happens. Is it worth it? I'm not sure. But yes, I will take a look at it if I want to do it in the future. Maybe I will do it and just back up the entire folder and remove it and get it on a new one, but I'll see. Now let's get into the record attempt, and I have a lot to say. I'm kind of mad with the patch. Like, I'm happy about the new stuff, right? And I don't wish it would be gone because everyone else obviously has fresh content. I have fresh content, yeah, I'm happy. But obviously, if you do a specific part in a game and that one has drastically changed to the worse, then that's not great. Now, first of all, what you see me doing here is in the start, I walk to the left. It was a tough decision to do that because, as you might have noticed, we have gotten very few spawns in our way. And the reason is that X-Dash walks so slow that the enemies keep spawning on the right side. Now, usually enemies stop spawning on the right side and will just spawn in front of you. But because he's so slow, you barely get enough levels. Like, usually I hit level 6 at the end of minute 1, and we are at the end of minute 2 and only hit level 8. That is really bad. At that point, I'm in the middle of 9, if it goes badly. And you can also see, we got really lucky with the tiramisu, right? We have that up there. That is an additional revive, that is a new item out of the update. And each revive that you do gives you more gold when you die, but more to that later, because, again, not happy. But yeah, either way, what I'm doing right now is pretty much the main strat that I usually do, except that I lost around, is it 2 minutes? I don't even think it's 2 minutes. It matters more than you think. Because when you do runs like this, you usually look for really good starts, right? Like lucky starts, where you find a clover right away, or where, just in general, you find a lot of gold drops. And if you miss 2 minutes, and then you only hit level 6 or level 4, and you notice, oh, yeah, it's not a clover start, I will restart, or I didn't get a crown, then it's easy. But here, I always waste like around 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes to get here, which makes it a lot worse to reset, right? Like, the reset time is a lot worse. And in this example here, I decided, you know what, I will just check it out, how it goes. And I will just go with the run, no matter what happens. As you can see, I think I got crown level 1 so far on level 11. This would always be a reset if this was a serious attempt, but this was more like, let's check it out. So, yeah, overall, yeah, we got crown level 1. Two good things that we have is duplicator level 2 and tiramisu level 2. Now, it's bad because, I would have liked a clover instead, or a crown. The only good part about it is that they are taken out of the pool, right? They can't appear anymore, so it's more likely that we get the stuff that we want. It's also more likely that we get a roll where we get stuff that we don't want to have at all, but spoilers, just to calm you down. I don't think you cared, but to calm you down, it doesn't happen. We get all of the stuff that we want. Now, a bit to talk about why do I go over here. I think I mentioned it, but the power creep of the levels at the enemies I think it has increased again. Like, I'm not too sure. It might have also not changed anything, but the issue is I want to use the tiramisu because you get a ridiculous amount of gold out of that. Now, just for comparison or to understand, when you die, you get 500 gold, right? Without a revive, 500 gold. That is multiplied by 3, because the base multiplier is 1.5 in hyper mode, and then you get plus 100% due to crown and the gold upgrade, not crown, the stone mask, which is another 100% on top. 100% on top of 1.5 is 3, so everything multiplied by 3. Keep that in mind, because I didn't check how much gold I should have gotten at the end, But I can tell you it's not the amount that I got. And it's not even an excusable amount, like it shows you should get 800 gold and you get 800 gold without the multipliers applied. No, it's like, it shows me 800 gold and I get 600 gold. It's like, what? What? But if you watch the update video that I did, where I covered all the changes and we played a game with the new character, with the new demon, you can find that in the description, by the way, and in the comment that I write, if I don't forget it. Yeah, I don't know. Something is really weird in general there with the update. I don't know. Another thing that I notice is, in general, I seem to get way less drops, and I get way less gold out of chests. And now, it's not like, it could be a very unlucky run, right? So I'm not gonna say it's this run, but I noticed this in every single run, that even the ones that went like top level, like I started with Clover level 4, I got Crown right away, like after Clover level 2, I got Stone Mask insanely early as well, like everything was aligned, the stars were aligned, I got a lot of Clover drops in general, out of the candles, and I'm like, yeah, this is the run, and then I see the chests, and I'm like, well, the chest... Like, I got, like, mostly 1-star chest, like, with 1 upgrade, and they gave me, like, 160 gold. Like, I think the average gold I got, if someone has the time and nothing else to do, please just write down the gold amount I get out of every single chest, and give me an average at the end. Because I would be really curious to know. I guess I'll do it if I don't forget about it, but I mention it because I will forget about it. But yeah, so what do you see me doing there? Whenever I pause, I decided to make an Excel sheet where I just make, you know, little squares in Excel. And I have an X where the candles are. It's just a rough direction. And whenever I get a cross, I will highlight the spot with a yellow color, as well as one single spot with a blue color, and that is the attract orb that I want to pick up at the very end. It was about time that I do that, and everyone who doesn't care about any sort of record or, you know, thinks that's just stupid, sorry. But, you know, it's what I enjoy to do, and it was about time, right? Because I always memorized it in my head, which worked around 80 to 90% of the time. Now, you can't hold me accountable for times where I picked up crosses and they just spawned randomly and it is impossible to see them. But other times, I pretty much just forgot to pick them up. I didn't know where they were anymore. If you're wondering why I'm so quiet, it's 1 AM. So, you know, I can't scream around, I can't talk loudly, I can't be hyped up. I'm not usually like this, just if you're wondering and new to the channel. Because, hey, welcome to you. A lot of new people are still appearing, I can't believe it. I thought the hype would die down. I thought it like 2 weeks ago or so. So it's like, or I don't know when it was, or like at least a week ago. But hey, it keeps going. I'm really, really happy. And eventually Vampire Survivors will not be as demanded anymore as it is right now. But I think I will definitely keep going regardless. Like, if there is something popular that seems interesting where I have fun, I will definitely jump on the train. I will not replace anything else. I just do it additionally, like Super Autopads right now. But yeah, let's talk about this game a bit more. So, upgrade-wise, weapon-wise, I'm not too happy. I'm focusing on the X right now. I think that was a mistake. To be honest, for some reason, I always think that Cross is bad. I don't know why. Like, I don't mean the Cross itself. I mean to evolve Cross to the Heaven Sword. And actually, the Heaven Sword clears all the enemies for quite some time. Because of the high luck, because of the duplicator, it's so easy to kill all of the enemies. And the thing is, the weapon Cross itself is insanely good. Like, it's really good. So I don't know why I always want to go for the Scythe. I mean, I understand it because for me the Scythe is a breaking tool of candles, right? If I just walk around left to right, the Scythe will shoot out, the Death Spiral will shoot out, and destroy a lot of candles that I would have missed otherwise. So it's really good. It's a high utility tool for me. But I should focus more on the Cross to get it upgraded to the Heaven Sword. In this game so far we have been quite lucky, except that we haven't gotten the Stone Mask. But if you look at our gold, I've become a lot better to not pick up items. Like, even off those spots that are really hard to deal with. Not saying it always works, but for most parts I stop picking up the same amount of items that I usually pick up. One thing, I don't know if I've already mentioned it, that I definitely notice is we have barely any gold drops. In both runs that I did, I think the total amount that I got were around like 10-11 bags. Just for reference, my worst run in gold bag amounts was, I think, 13. But you gotta know, there was, out of all runs that I did, that like actually completed, the worst one out of all of them was 13. Like, just compare that to 10. And the highest one I've gotten, I think, ever was 17, maybe? If I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, 10 is absolutely horrible. Each of these gold bags is worth 300 gold. So if you get 7 less, that's 2.1k gold you get less. But yeah, also with the chests, I don't know what happened in this game. It was really weird. Because, so what usually happens is I get barely any Penta chests, right? And I get like a buttload of triple chests. Because it's actually very likely that I get triple chests. The ratio is around 60% normal chests, 40% triple chests. And let's not even talk about Penta chests, because I usually don't get them. It's so rare, I can't count on it, is pretty much the point that I'm trying to make. In this game, I got one. Yeah, I picked the stone mask here, by the way, over the clover, just to guarantee that we have it, and that it appears in the level up pool. But yeah, in this game, I got 1 penta chest, 3 triple chests, and the rest 13 of the other chests were normal chests. That is... Whoa, that was a heavy voice crack, sorry for that. Yeah, oh, there's another cross, nice, mark it down. Yeah, maybe you pause where you can actually see it. So what I'm doing here is I'm counting how many candles are actually there, because I was sure those are 10, but I just wanted to make sure while all the drops are still on the ground. Yes, there are 10 candles on point. But no, what was I saying? Yeah, getting 13 normal chests is one of the worst performances I think I did. I'm not sure, but I think yes. I don't think I had a video where I had a worse performance. Yeah, I don't know. But you'll also see with the values. The values are really not amazing. Like, at one point, I just gave up hoping to even get 200 gold out of a normal chest. And I think the lowest amount of gold that you can get is 150 gold. That is the lowest, right? That is when you, if you would open a chest without any buffs, without hyper mode, it would be 50 gold. Times 3 is 150, so that is the lowest amount. Now I've gotten so many 160s, 170s, 180s. Those are really bad values. Like, you can get so much more gold. I think the maximum amount out of a normal chest is 300 or even more. I think the highest I remember right now is around 350 or so, where I was like, dude, like the average for a triple chest is 450, and I was like, dude, that is almost a triple chest. That was insane. So if you sit on the lower end, like if you pretty much don't average on, let's say, 250, it's really bad. But as I said, I think the game changed in regards to that you just get way less triple chests, penta chests, maybe not penta chests, but definitely triple chests, or maybe just in general how the luck calculation is done, how much it can affect stuff. But yeah, for the rest of the game, honestly, it's going fine, right? We have all the stuff, we have the empty tome, that was the goal that I aimed for, or wanted to aim for. Now, if you look at my items right now, I don't think I could remove a single item out of these. If the problem is, I have 4 economy upgrades. Oh, I had to swallow my yawn there. That was difficult. Yeah, I have 4 economy upgrades now with the revive, which means I only have 2 items left if I say I don't want to pick up the empty tome as a 7th item, right? Which one do I remove? Without the duplicator, the Heaven Sword is so bad. You barely spawn any swords anymore, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I could actually be wrong on this. I need to check that out, but I think it affects highly how many swords you spawn. It also nerfs the scythe a bit. By the way, here I should have went for cross. This is what I'm talking about, of preferring the axe. That was a mistake. But yeah, it slightly buffs the spiral. It's not bad, but it's not really needed on the spiral, to be honest, because you can just follow the path of the spiral and it's fine enough. But yeah, I think it majorly buffs the Heaven Sword, because I think naturally it has 2 projectiles, and you add another 2, so you effectively double its damage, which is insane. The Candelabrador obviously is needed. First of all, area increase is always good for almost everything that I have. It's amazing for garlic, it's amazing for ebony rings. while I always shit talk it or don't talk about it at all, deals a lot of damage. It's amazing for the Heaven Sword and the crosses, they become so big, and obviously also the spiral, right? I mean, without it, we can't get the spiral. So, if I would want to change the duplicator, I would also need to change the cross, which is really sad, because the Heaven Sword highly benefits from luck, right? It has a critical strike, and the higher your luck, the higher critical strike is to happen, or the higher the chance for that to happen. And I think for me, with the amount of luck that we achieve, we have it at 100%. It always crits. Which is an insane damage output for... Like, you always have to consider that we have an insanely limited build, right? We can't just change out the entire build to a damage build or something like this. This doesn't work. There's a Clover. Really nice. I'm happy about that. One of the few that I find. So, I think I talked about this before, but as far as I understood this now, X-Dash just always gets bonus of 50% luck over the course of the run. You will always end up on 240% the moment the run ends. At minimum. That is the minimum. I have never seen it anywhere, but like, I just realized that like when I was asking on the feedback or some bug report or so, yeah, because all the Clover numbers at the very end screen, they never matched with what I had. So 190 is the max value that you can achieve on X-Dash without any other, like, without Clover pickups, right? And when I had 290%, it showed me that I had 5 Clovers picked up, which doesn't make sense. They give 10%, right? So I need 10 that I picked up. So I wrote in there and I showed a screenshot and I said, hey, this doesn't make any sense because I must have picked up 10 and it only shows 5. And at one point, it clicked why I always was at 250, 240% and thought there was the limit. It's because that's just, X-Dash always goes there. How, when, why, I don't know. It seems to change. It doesn't seem to be consistent, like a set time. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just a chance on killing enemies, but because of how much you kill, you will always get it at the end. But it can just take a different amount of time. I could have sworn in one recording that I did, I saw something green fly out of an enemy. But yeah, like not an orb, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. At least it's uncovered, right? So, what else to talk about here? I have to organize my brain a bit, because otherwise I just get more and more confused. I mean, overall, we are doing really good here. We only have 223 gold so far, which honestly, like I previously said, I got better at not picking up items. Honestly, I think it's just that we don't get the rare drops as often as we usually get them. Like, if you compare this run, I said we have 10, like the highest one had 17. Which means the highest one nearly doubled the amount of gold bags, or we usually at least get plus 50%, right? Which is a huge difference. That could have been a pickup by now, easily by now. Which would put us at 500 gold, and I wouldn't have said, hey, look at how I got better at stuff. But yeah, the X, level 6 so far, and this is like one of the, like if I went for the cross, I think I could have maxed it out by now. That's like really sad. I think I'm getting close here to max out the X. It's still a very good time, because right now is a very easy wave, so we have the time to max out the X. As long as the enemies are easy to kill and we get the experience. I wanted to pick up the experience orb up there, but there's a cross below, so, I'm not gonna pick up experience and waste a cross for that. The effect of crosses is insane. If you remember, I uploaded the run with the 20k gold that I use as a guide on how to gold record run, and I didn't understand how I got so much gold compared to my record. I mean, like, right, like, it was a bit less, like 100 less or so than my record, but it didn't add up, it didn't make sense to me, until I realized in that run I hit level 137. And why? By the way, wrong chest. I remembered only it was in the middle, but I picked up the wrong one. Good job, me. Yeah, but why? Because I had 6 crosses on the floor, and I used all of them on the minute 29 for the wave, and I got so many levels out of it. I have an Excel sheet where I tracked the game there, and when minute 29 started, I was level 81. When minute 31 started, so when death spawned, I was level 137. That's 56 levels in difference. 56. Multiply that by 75 and you get the amount of gold that I got from doing that. But yeah, I had to waste a cross here. I was really not happy about that, but hey, there was a clover on the ground. I'm not gonna miss out on this. I took a split second and waited there and thought, is a cross more valuable or a clover? But I think on, like, over the course of an entire run, the 10% increased luck will pay off more than having one wave nuked, right? It could be wrong on this, but it's obviously a gamble, right? One is a guaranteed buff in experience. But I think at that point, like at the end of the run, I had a total of 4 crosses down. So a fifth one, honestly, 25% increase and each level up that you make gives you less levels. I honestly think it is fine. But yeah, I don't know what I'm constantly checking. I think I'm looking for... No, I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what I was checking there. But yeah, I think now I kept track of some chests that I can use to upgrade. I think the left ones that we see there, besides the library... No, that's not a library, that's a piano. Those are definitely new chests, but they are kind of off. I don't want to walk there. I don't want to walk too far away that other candles start spawning. That is one thing I think I haven't talked about. I mentioned it in the update video, but according to the game code, only 10 candles... like 10 candles are the maximum in the game. Now this on its own doesn't mean a lot, right? Like, okay, let's do the upgrade there. So 10 candles. Does that mean if I always walk to one side, that if once I hit 10, there will not be another candle spawning? No, that's obviously not the case, right? If you endlessly walk to a side, you know very well candles keep spawning. Very rarely, because the chance is super low on a non-X- character, but it happens, it keeps happening. As long as they persist, right, and you don't destroy them. But we can clearly see here that candles keep respawning. Maybe they are a bit limited. Maybe there are actually still candles on the map that they've been always there since forever. I don't think that's the case though. Now, I'm a bit confused in general about how candles really work, so I can't say too much about it. And whenever I talk about stuff like this, it's just theory, right? It doesn't have a proper meaning. But I kind of hope that the candles just despawn more or less. If you're too far away for too long, or actually instead of despawning, that when an 11th candle would spawn, it will take away the first one, right? That would still satisfy the rule that there can only be 10 candles on the map by just removing one. And I hope that's just the case. Just a second, got a cough. So yeah, there's that. I honestly don't know what to do, but I think I wished I could just skip right now to the end of the game and just, show you what actually happens there. But I think on the way there it's also fine. I think there was an accident. Yeah, there was definitely an accident. Still happens, guys. It still happens. Can't change it. But yeah, I like to freeze these waves, especially when I have Scythe. It's not amazing, but it allows me to freely walk through them and just clear them with fire, with the Scythe, with whatever. In the past, I usually kept the freeze until way later, but it just turned out it's not worth it. I mean, it is kind of worth it, but you also delay all of your gold breaking by quite a lot. So I think it's not worth it. But yeah, overall, this is just a typical last 10 minutes so far. I'm really looking forward to talk about the end, because I survived for quite a long time, like actually a very long time. And is it just me, or is the freezing thingy around me going way slower than normal? I think it's just me, right? Probably because I was playing a lot of other characters, and it just feels like on them it's way faster because it is. On X- it's obviously way slower, but I don't think it's supposed to be this slow. Or was it always this slow? Maybe it was. That's like usually the problem, and also why I'm really cautious when an update happens and people complain about it. People always complain about everything because they start looking, like when an update happens, generally speaking, they always dislike updates. Changes, sorry, not updates, changes. People always dislike changes. Sometimes, if it's obviously a positive change, it's good if everyone was looking forward to it. But if it was not a change that people were expecting, and let's say, for example, especially a player based at League of Legends, right, that plays a certain champion and they change something, there will always be complaints, and every single time, like it sometimes justified, most of the times it's just over the board, way too unnecessary to do that. Especially the funniest cases for me are always those where people complain a lot about how a champion is dead because he got updated. If you don't know League of Legends, don't worry, you don't need to understand a lot, just imagine it like the characters that we are playing here, and they received an update, they got changed, something that was considered really strong on them got removed or lowered, and instead they got a compensation for that. And in League of Legends, especially with utility, right, like movement speed, how fast you move, and cooldowns, people underestimate how strong these actually are. And when they removed damage from two different characters, they are mages, people were saying these are trash. They are out of the game. The win percent will go into, like, trash city. And the funny part was, usually what happens after an update, the win percent goes down. And there was a very interesting phenomena that League of Legends reported or wrote an article or explained that, made a statement, where they wanted to nerf a champion in the past, Vladimir, very old one, before a rework and everything, for those that know him, and they forgot to put the update on live server, right? So it was still planned, but they just forgot to put it on the live server. And what happened is, I think his win rate dropped by 3% or 5% or something like this. And people had different theories. It could have been that, like, mains were first not playing him, right? So they just waited to see, hey, how am I, like, do I come along with these changes? So maybe just a lesser experienced player base kept playing, that didn't even know about the changes or so. The other theory people had was, well, this champion relies a lot on getting to the late game and getting very strong. Also, you are annoying to die on top of me. But yeah, people said, like, others started engaging him now more because they didn't view him as much of a threat anymore after the nerf. Which is hilarious because nothing changed at all. But back to the point, these two champions ended up, instead of going down, they went up in win rate to amounts where they had to be nerfed. Like, they had to be lowered again. Like, it's just hilarious, right? The understanding of people in general, everyone, including myself, insane. And this placebo effect where you think something changed, but it didn't actually change, but now that you're looking for changes, you notice a lot of changes that don't exist. I think that's happening a ton with me lately, where I was very used to going a certain route, where I knew I had to get to this garlic level, and then I had to get to this cross level to deal with all of the enemies. I never wrote that stuff down. It was just in my mind, where I knew I have to do this, because I do most of the things that I do without thinking about them. I go by feeling. Because I, out of memory, what felt the best and stuff like this. This is usually how I do everything. And here, after playing with other characters and having a lot adjusted in my mind, it totally messed with my feeling. Like, I will guarantee you, if I go back to the 20k videos or something like this and I check out how I had my leveling there, with Garlic, with Cross, it's totally different. It's way, way higher on them, and the X probably I ignored completely. While now I often try to max it out as one of the first weapons, which is stupid. Like, I wouldn't prefer, like, I would never take an X over Garlic early on, but I'd say around the 10-minute mark, maybe, I would always pick X, and that's just stupid. By the way, I'm really sorry if you hear random sounds like this, if you actually heard that and I didn't cut it out, and I didn't forget that, because apparently my microphone was muted. That is nice. Good to know. But yeah, so right now we are doing the typical dance. Still dangerous. The main danger here is, as always, the enemies don't really get frozen. Like, if you look at the beam, it sometimes doesn't seem to hit certain enemies, or maybe they get pushed, and, you know, the unfrozen ones get pushed into the frozen ones or so. I don't know what's going on. But overall, going fine. I mean, nothing changed about our build, right? The only thing that changes is that we have the tiramisu on the top left that gives us 2 revives. That's it. No damage change, no weapon change, and nothing like this. Overall, I gotta say, in this run, that was a big mistake, by the way. Losing that cross was really bad. That was horrible. But yeah, overall, I felt really good in this run, damage-wise. So I think it's really just me constantly messing up in the past. And I have to change it in the future. I have to adjust better to go more on garlic early on. And also then to make a switch to cross. Very important. Because also what I did in one game was I had like a level 7 garlic and a level 1 cross. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? That is way too much. It's like, you kind of want to have a level 5 garlic, maybe even go to level 6 if it's really necessary, but that's it. And you just have to accept that there will be one wave that might be really good to kill, but you just can't kill them, it's impossible. There is one wave of them, but afterwards there's a huge farming wave. But yeah, as you see, I'm picking up all the stuff. We are 3.5 minutes away from the ending. Technically speaking, the later the better, but only if you pick up luck, right? If you don't pick it up, it doesn't change anything. And I'm pretty sure at the end of the video, at the far end, you will see that we have 3 clovers picked up, because we have 270% luck. That's the 190 base value, the 5 that I said that X- always gets for some reason that I don't understand, because I never heard of it. And then it will show 3 clovers, and that will go to 270 then combined. 190 plus 50 plus 30. Which is very interesting. Again. But yeah, so now it's just me slowly pushing around. What I'm doing here mostly is actually just checking if there were some crosses, and I'm doing a bit of cleanup. Especially for freezes, I don't want to have a freeze on the last wave. It's pretty much one of the worst things that can happen if you want to explode them, and they don't walk and accumulate in the center like the Medusas are constantly doing, except that the Medusas actually die. The last wave doesn't die. But yeah, I don't think there's anything all too special right now. We're just dancing a bit. I don't even think there was a situation where it came really close to me dying. Mentioning that because in the run before that I died twice, where I was so mad. I was really mad when that happened. Yeah, I decided to freeze them here. I'm not even sure. Why did I... That is an odd timing for the freeze. Oh, because I wanted to keep breaking the candles. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I didn't need to freeze there. I could have just shot towards them. I'm pretty sure. Like the clock lands, I could have just shot it to the side there and walked there. That was an odd choice. I don't... The thing is, I know, like, when I say I did something stupid, then I say that because I know why I did it. Unless it was a mistake. Yay, Penta chest. No, but I say I know why I did it. It's just that I made the wrong decision. But, yeah. Overall, I really get irritated. Do you see that, by the way? 607 gold. 607 gold on a Penta chest. What the hell is that? What the hell is that value? Like, okay, let's actually look at values here. 292, really good value. Like, this is in the upper part. Okay, let's memorize that. That was a very good value. Not the top part, but definitely in the upper part. I would say like the top 20%, as far as I know. Why do I not pick up the chest there? You went over here to pick up chests. Why do you go back now? Yeah, it doesn't help checking for the luck, just, or whatever you're doing. Just go there. Hey, there are 2 chests. What? Oh, that's how they got there. Keep in mind, I know it looks funny if you're watching this, and you're just like, what is the doofus doing there? Are you sure you did this a couple of times previously? Yes. The problem is, if you're in the middle of these little blob holes, these little heads, you have to focus on them. Because they just look at them, okay? Look at the freezing pattern, just pause the video if you want. Look at the pattern where they are frozen. It's really hard to walk on top of the frozen ones because they get pushed around. It's like this super thin line. But yeah, now I went here. I picked up the cross. I failed once. That could have been deadly. I didn't dare to pick up whatever is to the left there. And now I started panicking because I saw, hey, there are 2 more chests over there. I'm like, okay, here's another cross according to my file. So this should kill everyone. I know they are frozen, but I have to get through here. If I don't pick it up now, then it's just too late. Did I actually pick it up? I think I did. Didn't I? Oh yeah, I did. There's no more experience on the ground right now. Okay, so here's another cross, so I just had to get here. I didn't want to take it yet. I wanted to get the chests first, because otherwise the enemies all push in. And I think I had to get to the top left as well. Yeah, so now they come in. Now I pick up the other cross. I think there's another freeze here, which is really sad. But now I'm just getting level up. So the highest level I ever achieved was 137. We will compare at the end how far I got, but I think... yeah, there's the last one. So I think this ends on 122 or something like this. Which is still insane, don't get me wrong, but it's nowhere close to 137. I don't know what I did there. Because I only had like 1 or 2 more crosses, I think 2 more. But yeah, this looks good, right? Everything full. Shouldn't have picked up the freeze there, because I needed that for death to freeze it. And let's talk a bit about the new strategy for dying intentionally. This is so sad. I picked up a cross, but already dead. So, dying to death. I haven't refined it yet. It's a bit complicated. So, technically speaking, what you would want to do is, in that moment there, in this very second that you saw there, I should have died. I think that would have been the best choice, with the 4 coins below me. Now, let me elaborate. If you die, and you don't collect gold, your gold counter will not update. It's a bug. Everything is bugged about the revival gold. Everything. You get the wrong values, completely wrong values, and let's just keep in mind, like, at one point, just keep in mind how much gold I have, and we will take a look how much I actually get. But the way I trigger it is always I make sure I'm next to a coin, so when I revive, I will freeze death, and then I will pick up a coin to update the counter, and then I'll die again. This is pretty much the theme that you'll see. What I'm doing right now is me being greedy or not sure what's the best way to do it, because I don't want to waste my revivals, you know, I could just use them to walk around and collect gold, right? So it feels bad to just waste them, but I think the best thing I could have done is just guarantee that you get the revival gold, stay close to a freeze, and once you're on your last life, just run to the freeze, hope it actually hits the death. It should hit him before he can kill you, because you have some invulnerability. And now what I'm doing here is I want to die, and you see how much I'm hesitating, because I constantly want to actually get away. Like, I will not die here. The really lucky freezes, and I'm like, dude, I can't just stay there. I'm wasting all the candle respawns and everything. Like, I just, you know, I'll just keep gold farming. It's way better. No, it's not. I should have just I should have positioned myself in a way that I don't get frozen, maybe. It's really hard because they push themselves into me. But yeah, you'll actually see the effect of the revivals was very, very slim. Because you get out of the revival with one, like with a blue shield, I think, or not even a shield or something like this, so it's really bad. At this point, I should have just said kill myself. Okay, there we go. Let's take a look at the gold counter. We should end up on 16,600. Okay, now we did it, but did you see that we only did it once we picked up the coin? Now, we should end up on... we should get 1,800 gold. We got like 100 gold. What the hell happened there? We got 100 gold. We should have gotten 1,800. So let's take a look at this now. Oh my god, I have a very bad theory. No, there's no way that's true. Okay, so now we should get 2.4k. We got 600. Huh? And what I just thought about was maybe instead of giving us the value over again, like again and again, instead it just takes the difference. So if it goes from 500 to 600, it gives you 100 times 3, of course, because of the multipliers. Oh, that could actually... is that the case? That it just gives you the difference? But then forgets about the multipliers? Oh, that would be interesting. I would need to look at this again. No, but we wouldn't be at 17.9k gold right now. Wait, what even happens at the end that I have such a low gold value? Okay, let's take a look at the last one. How much gold that is precisely. What was the last value that we got? 800, right? 800 was 2400, yes. So the difference now is 300. So we should be at 18,300. We are at 18,900, but that's 300 times 3. Huh, interesting. Still doesn't make any sense to me. What was the last... Okay, I'll take a look at this either way on my own. And yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. And that was the run. Let me know about your experience in the update. I think yours was a lot better because you just played a game. But for me it was so-so. But I like it a lot. So I hope you enjoyed it. See you the next time. And I'm out.